What's up guys, AJ here. How would you like to list 4 houses in a week? As a brand new agent, my first year of real estate, I did exactly that. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how I did that. To list 4 houses in a week for any agent is an amazing accomplishment. So as a brand new agent, for me to do that, that's kind of really unheard of for the most part. I mean, a lot of new agents that I talk to, they're like, I'll be happy if I sell 6 houses my first year. Well, that is what I sold my first year. I started picking up momentum near the end and actually had over 20 listings going into my second year. And the last week before Christmas is when I listed those 4 homes. One of the things that you've probably heard from agents or that you will hear around the holidays is buyers don't buy, sellers don't sell. Everyone's focused on Halloween, then it's Thanksgiving, then it's Christmas, and home sales are really nowhere to be found. If you look at the MLS data, it does show home sales are a little bit slower, but the good thing about that is real estate agents tend to take off from Halloween all the way through the middle of January. So if you're working hard through that time period, you're going to do really well. So remember that we really just have September, October, and then we're into the holiday season. So remember, stay focused, stay consistent on your prospecting, and good things will happen. Now you might be thinking, well, who is going to list their house around Christmas? I'll tell you who. The sellers you want to be working with. Motivated sellers. And I'm not talking about desperate sellers. I'm talking about sellers with real motivation. They're not just listing their house to test the market. They're committed to getting it sold. And when you're working lead sources like expired listings, for sale by owners, these tend to be really good motivated seller leads. And that's exactly what I was working. You see, the first 6 months of my career, this would have been back in 2013, so I've been in this game for a while. I was trying all these different things, open houses, online lead generation, networking events, and it wasn't until about halfway into my first year where I got this laser focus on seller prospecting, hired a coach, and went all in and eliminated all the other lead sources. Quite honestly, from one lead source, you could be selling 50 to 100 homes a year, so why be trying all these different things? I find that a lot of brokerages, quite honestly, confuse their agents. They give them this buffet of options and they never really master any one thing. So after hiring that coach and going all in, I quickly started to set appointments. I quickly started to get good leads. I took that, that data from RedX, link in the description if you want a discount for that, save $150. I took that data and turned it into what I call nurtures. A nurture is basically just somebody that says they're going to interview you when the time comes to sell their home. So I was taking that expired data, turning them into nurtures. So very quickly, starting about mid-July, I started to develop nurtures, so build my pipeline, right? My database. I started to set appointments and I started to take listings. And by the end of my first year, I had over 20 listings. And in my second year, I actually sold 36 houses, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. I mean, what's your average sale price in your area? Take 2.5–3% as a commission, let's say. What would your yearly income be if you sold 36 houses? Would that be a pretty good start? The biggest thing that helped me list 4 houses in a week in my first year was hiring a coach, making that mental commitment to go all in and eliminating plan B. Like right now, think about it, like, do you have a plan B? If you do, you might be struggling. If you don't, you're probably crushing it or on your way to crushing it. So I had another business when I first got into real estate. I was running a painting company, nothing fancy, just, had a couple painting crews, residential painting. And for the first few months, probably the first 4 or 5 months, I was still running that business. I definitely scaled back, but I still had additional income coming in. When I decided to shut that down, hire a coach, focus on seller lead generation only, that's when it really started to take off for me. So I believe you gotta eliminate plan B, burn the bridges, burn the boats, right? Tactically, what I started doing was practicing my scripts, role-playing my scripts with role-play partners. I got accountability partners. Every single day I was doing this. After I would be done practicing my scripts, I would immediately start calling expired listings for sale by owners, old expireds, canceled withdrawns, just circle prospecting, just listed, just solds. I would do that for the next 3 hours from 8 to 11. And then from 11 to 11:30-ish, I would be doing follow-up. I would reserve the afternoons for appointments and admin work only. If I didn't have appointments or admin work, on occasion, I would come back and do some follow-up for prospects that I weren't able to get a hold of from that morning that were on my hot list. I truly believe if you just started today and started prospecting 3 to 4 hours a day, and if you didn't have any appointments in the afternoon or any admin to work, and if you just hit the gym, went home, grabbed lunch, whatever, and didn't work for the rest of the day, but you did that for the next 6 months, you would end up having so many appointments. You'd have to work in the afternoons because you'd have to actually go out, meet buyers, meet sellers, and business would start to happen relatively quickly. The thing is, most agents just waste a lot of time. They don't focus on income producing activities, IPAs. So what they do is they might do an hour of prospecting in the morning, then they check Facebook, and then they think they're doing work by searching the MLS and doing homework or research, or they'll go preview some houses, which is a good thing to do. You just, it's not an income producing activity. So they do a lot of things that really don't make any money. And that's why like 90% of all agents fail in the first 3 years. So I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. It seems simple, right? There's no magic button. And I know there's some agents out there that will sell you a magic button or tell you about a magic button. It doesn't matter what lead gen source you're working. What I'm talking about can apply to really anything. It takes hard work and consistent action. If there's other agents on YouTube teaching and they might have something fancier on social media is great, don't get me wrong. Don't think people are just gonna start calling you and boom, you're just doing business. Like, you still need to have sales skills. Those people are hustling. They make it look easy because they're an expert at what they do, but it's hard work and they have great sales skills, great follow-up systems. So you need all of these things to be a great agent. From afar, listing 4 homes in a week seems like magic. Like, wow, how'd you do it? But honestly, when you're calling 100 to 150 sellers every single week, not just calling, but actually talking to, so you probably called like 500 using an automatic dialer, RedX, link in the description if you want a discount code. Like, that's like what you need. Like, don't hand dial all this stuff. But when you're doing that, when you're taking consistent action, talking to 100 to 150 sellers every single week, hey, listing a house every week, listing 4 houses in a week, it's expected. It becomes the expectation because you're doing the work.